Oh,
All right.
oh, you know, the first card that I just was on the bottom of the deck is the death card.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, we're at the end of the year. Totally makes sense. The guides are on it
Beautiful.
immediately.
All right. So we're up and running. Hi, folks. How you doing? I am Kory. She is Annette coming at you from Cape Ann, Massachusetts for
Yeah.
a live edition, our first live edition of Ask Annette on YouTube. Annette and I have done this a lot over the years on Bridge Cape Ann's Facebook page, but we wanted to move things over to this world, and we already see a built-in family here, which is awesome. Hi, Michelle. How you doing? So we're going to give this a whirl. We had a great live show last night with Linda G. And you can find that on our channel here as well of predictions for 2022 and fun conversation as well.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
so there's that.
Thanks.
But Annette, we had a ton of questions left over last night and had a bunch today when we announced a live show that we want to get to. So how you
Yeah,
doing?
we had like a bunch of questions during the show, so I just felt like it was only right to answer the questions today. We didn't want to leave you all hanging.
Yeah. All
Get
right.
our-
So hi, Ann. Good day from New Zealand. I love New Zealand. I spent
Oh, wow.
a month or so there
Nice.
10 years ago. Hi, Karen from Norway. How you doing? Is it Gina or Gina? I love that name. Dorothy, Washington State. Teresa, Maria. How's everyone
Wow.
doing? Happy New Year if it's already New Year.
They're just here. Wow. They came to the party. Thanks for coming to the party. I have my guess what I got? Like sand through the hourglass.
Oh,
We come to the end. I just found this. I needed to buy a new lamp and I found this is like it's perfect. It's 1 hour.
really? So we're on a timer today?
Why? I have a
The
little
end of
less.
times is near?
I have a little less than an hour, so when it starts getting close,
Okay.
just so people know, we have about a little under an hour because I have to be done by 4.
Okay, well, let's jump right in then. Okay, let's get to some questions ASAP. Let's see, I had some good ones here last night.
Oh, can I make a re-announcement?
Of course.
Tonight, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern time, as I mentioned last night, I'm doing 8 minutes of meditation followed by 8 minutes of reading something spiritual and inspiring. It's going to be kind of random. I'm just going to my bookshelf. So 8 minutes of meditation, just quiet, and then 8 minutes of reading something inspiring. And I'm going to do that continually for 3 hours. So I'm going to flip this thing 3 times. And you can jump on anytime. I'll be live streaming from my YouTube channel, Annette Dion. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Very cool. Geez, Toronto, New Mexico. It's like we've gone global in that.
You know what?
This is not like we were at the local breakfast joint for a year doing this, talking to ourselves.
I know. I'm grateful. That's awesome. Good way to end out the year.
Yeah.
Also, you know, I found that people aren't very busy because of COVID. Like people are home, like all over the world. They may have traveled in the past.
Yeah, let's hope everyone's safe and healthy and happy right now. It's been a very tumultuous year.
Yeah.
So. Okay, Annette, let's start off with question number 1. This is a nice one we got from Geraldine Mays. I think this is a nice start. How can we promote goodwill? What can I do to treat my fellow man or woman the way that I want to be treated?
I like her name. What's her name again? Say it again.
Geraldine, Jerilyn, Jerry Lynn, Geraldine.
Pretty. What can we do to promote goodwill? We're starting on a positive. I love that. That's great. Oh, absolutely love life and love yourself and live in gratitude for all the little things and walk daily if you can in nature. Here's the thing. When we feel good, it just overflows. And we don't even have to say anything. People just feel good by our energy. And that's why it's so important to work on your sort of your interior. So, of course, you know, the conventional give to charity, volunteer, and all that. But most of all, we're all energetic beings. We're made of energy. And the more we can feel like high frequency vibration energies, like, I mean, there's a book called Power versus Force that I might read from tonight a little bit. that talks about the different frequencies of different kind of types of emotions. And way high up on the scale are the vibrations of happiness and joy and bliss and ecstasy. And obviously lower on the scale are like, you know, anger, violence, frustration, and all that. So the more we can work on literally our frequency, the more others will just feel it when they're around us. So it's like, it's a lot of work, some people think, to get to that place, but you know, we're always on the, you know, we're always works in progress. But that's what I say. And yoga and meditation, great ways to raise your frequency, eating really high vibration foods and like that. But I'm going to pick 3 cards about this question.
Okay.
To elaborate further, the world. This is what the world needs to do. And last night, at the end, remember we talked about cards for the collective? And the first card that I pulled, I said, this is the year that people are really going to, you know, en masse, just kind of go into spiritual stuff, spirituality. And then the world is coming up, and I just kind of see it as kind of like the trend of yoga, when yoga was like, nobody was doing yoga. And then all of a sudden it seemed like it reached a tipping point and everybody was doing yoga, because I think people just felt like it resonated. That's what's going to happen with spirituality. So the world is like, it's going to be a big movement. If anyone wants to go to Isha Foundation, that's a good place to start. ISHA. They just like a couple hours ago rang in the new year from the ashram there. The 4 of Wands, it's going to be about community. That like goodwill is spread through small communities. So being part of your small community, like Kory and I, we're part of the same community. So, you know, and what Kory does, I'm going to rah Kory for a second. He raises the energy of the local businesses because he helps to get the word out about, you know, local mom and pop stores and restaurants in our area. So that kind of a feeling is going to bring lots of goodwill. I love this question. I just think that's a wonderful question. And the judgment card is like, remember, what we put out comes back to us. And if it's any consolation, people that are putting out stuff that you're not liking, that's upsetting to you, just know it's going to come back to them, and too bad for them. Because the law of, you know, action and cause and effect is always in play. And have goodwill and be nice. Be nice.
All right. So first of all, Annette, I'll let you know if your connection's spotty now, because we're using up a lot of energy now trying to do this live.
Yeah.
A lot of people you've noticed have mentioned that Betty White did pass away
I did
earlier
not know
today.
that.
Yeah. So that's big news. 99 years old. What a life.
When was that?
Betty White.
When?
This morning.
That's funny, because I was just thinking about Betty White like yesterday.
Mm.
And how like she aged so gracefully. Was she 99?
Yeah.
Oh, let's have a moment for Betty, for how, speaking of goodwill, that's a nice connect.
Yeah.
She really was a bringer of joy. What a great life she had. And everybody loved her. She was so sweet.
One of the funniest people ever.
Yay, Betty. And she kept doing it. She kept on going to the end. You know, I don't believe in retirement. I'm one of those people. You know, Betty White was still working till the end.
That's right. Yeah. Cheers to her. And thanks for bringing that up, folks. For people who are asking about my dog, Bubba the Mastiff, he is sleeping in the other room. We try to keep him away from the lights and all that in here. And the Christmas tree. He's gone after that a couple of times. So
Bubba the horse.
At some point. Yeah.
Is he as big as a small pony?
He's about 170 pounds. Yeah. He's a lot of dog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for your next question, Annette?
Always ready.
Cool. This comes from Stephanie Craig, who asks, what is the simplest way to clear or cleanse your energy?
I was picking up my bell before you even asked me that question. Actually, bells, like sounds, I notice when I go into like an Indian temple, which there's not a lot of them around here, but there are bells. So that's one way to clear the energy. I actually am a big advocate of holy water. If you have any like Catholicism, you know, you've heard of holy water. I don't know if, do you know if other Christian churches use holy water?
I don't know. Does
Might,
Greek
I have
Orthodox?
everything right in front of me. Say, I don't think, I'm thinking it's just Catholicism. This is called Immaculate Waters and made with pure Lourdes grotto water. So it's actually from France, because the mother of Jesus appeared, an apparition appeared in Lourdes, at Lourdes. So that's blessed water. This is a smudge stick. And also, so those are just like physical things that are practical to use. You can get a smudge stick at, I just saw a smudge stick at like Marshall's.
Wait a minute, what is that?
It's sage.
If that is?
Oh, stop it.
I don't want, what? Does
you
YouTube
not-
have screeners?
This is, look, it's sage.
Okay, good.
Between you and Linda last night, I'm like,
Oh,
no one is like being good. I'm behaving over here. Yes, sage smells amazing. And as far as keeping your energy field clear, now I am at an advantage. I must say, I'm kind of fortunate. I'm not, especially with COVID, around a lot of people all the time. If I were working with a lot of people, in fact, there's nobody around where I work. Since COVID, the offices around me kind of shut down. But if you're in close proximity to people who, if you're sensitive, especially, if you can feel their energy, just imagine a bubble of white protective light around you. It works like a charm. And if people are getting to you, especially driving, I always talk about driving and getting frustrated with people. You don't want to contribute to the negative, stressful energy. So you start taking some really deep breaths and you just remind yourself, it's not going to be worth it. It's not worth it to get upset. And also, if you can listen to sacred chanting music or Om, there's on YouTube, there's some that go on constantly, and that's really good to sort of protect your energy too.
Very nice.
Sacred music.
And a shout out to Jokester. Thanks for the donation, Jokester. I like it when people leave the tip on the table. It's so
nice.
different for an experience, you know?
I know.
What we're used to. But yeah, we've jumped like 5,000 subscribers in just a few weeks here on the strength of those Linda G and Annette videos. So we appreciate it. Like we said, we hope everyone had a great Christmas or holiday season. Have a safe and happy New Year's tonight. We're spending about an hour here with Annette live today on New Year's Eve. She's been gracious enough to spend some time. So we're trying to get as many questions in as possible. Here's another great one we got. This is from Lana Farley, who asks, when I dream, am I seeing my past lives or lives that I have already lived?
Okay, so I heard, because it's a little sketchy. Am I seeing past lives or lives that I have already lived? That's what it sounded like you said.
Yeah, when I dream, am I seeing my past lives or lives that I have already lived?
That's one and the same to me.
Okay.
So I'm going to tune in and figure out if I just am missing what the question means.
Maybe she's asking more just like, am I seeing my past lives, period? And just maybe she just was redundant when she, typed the question.
Possibly. You can. I mean, I remember I used to have dreams, especially recurring dreams, of being in it seemed like a marketplace in Europe somewhere, because I saw like the tents and everything. I think I might have been a traveling minstrel. I think in France, actually. We very much can see our past lives. It's really, if you want to interpret a dream, it's really helpful to think about how you felt in the dream. So that gives you a clue as to what the message of the dream is. I feel like that your mind, your soul can bring back memories from a past lifetime when it's wanting to communicate, when your guides are wanting to communicate to you something about that past lifetime. If I knew more about what she had dreamed, I could say more. Could schedule a reading.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool question, though. Different, Okay,
Yeah,
moving on
that
to the
does
next. What's that? You have
happen.
anything else?
That definitely happens.
Yep. Okay, next question comes from SS. Are we going to start producing products from the USA again and get manufacturing back to where it used to be?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. To where it used to be, well, that's a little nebulous because I don't know what used to be. I guess that would be like in the like after the 1970s, everything changed. I think everything changed with Ronald Reagan, where things started to get, manufacturing started to really, en masse, like up overseas. I think that I think agree with that. Not like the way that it used to be, but enough that we're going to see like in the USA products. Remember yesterday, I was like, I have this noisemaker that I got from Walgreens and it was made in China and it doesn't make any noise. You know what I mean? So it's like, we need to be making products here. Absolutely. And I think that they'd be more sturdy and quality. And I do see that, but it's going to be like 3 years before we really notice it much. But time flies.
Great stuff.
If your Wi-Fi is sketchy, I'll just ask you to repeat the question because it's a little in and out, and I hope it's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me or you because my feed looks fine, yours looks spotty, but
Probably
the live
me.
feed's going through me. So
I'm working on it, but I am admiring your fireworks. That's a pretty nice show.
pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot going on around the world tonight. Yeah.
Fireworks are probably going off now around the world, right?
Yeah, we already heard from New Zealand. They already celebrated.
Ah,
Yeah, they're almost
nice.
a day ahead, right?
I wish I could send pictures. Yeah, like I said, India just had their New Year's around 1:00.
Cool. Okay, next question, Annette, comes from Michelle Shelton, and she asks, how do we mend fences with past Republican friends and family? So I guess after all the political discord, how do you mend those fences?
That's a tongue twister. How do you mend the fence? Okay. Boy, that's so complex. How do you mend the fences with Republican family members?
Yeah, and friends. Yeah. So yeah, just from all the discord from the recent
Okay,
political
so
season.
this is a very strong recommendation. Here's what people have to recognize. I've studied about cults extensively. And there is a book called The Cult of Trump. And this is not Trump bashing. This is that people have lost sight of somebody who is violent and bully and racist and misogynist and really didn't help this country with really anything. And this is not Trump bashing. This is just the truth. The guys were at some point, remember that Janet Jackson song, "What Have You Done For Me Lately?"
Yeah.
Yeah, when I think of Trump, that's what I think. When I think of the supporters, it's like he really didn't do anything but want his want to be reelected. That's all he really did. So I mean, and every other week was infrastructure week, and he never did the same. But not to go on about that because I am. But I think people need to understand about the cult mind because we have to have compassion for people whose minds have been hijacked. When I say they've been hijacked, I mean the guides showed me, and I clairvoyantly pick up that on the internet there's subliminal seduction going on by our actual enemies. And you can guess who I'm talking about. 2 particular countries, right? Can you guess? I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube. I don't want them,
Yeah, because we might have listeners there. Well, probably not there, but close by.
Yeah. So anyway, there are 2 countries that have infiltrated the internet and social media. And I got this a long time ago. Their subliminal seduction is when you're being hypnotized by what you're watching. by nefarious forces, being hypnotized into believing something. Case in point, how about the people we talked about that last night, that were in Dallas waiting for JFK Jr., who's very dead, to show up, and because he was going to be Trump's VP at run. I don't know what that. Anyway, they're still there from what I heard. So the way to have some sort of a sense of tolerance is to understand that you're actually talking to somebody who has been, their rational minds have been hijacked. And I'm not saying that to be flip. This is factual. It's very frightening. I had somebody in my family that was in a cult. That's why I studied so much. So The Cult of Trump is a book. The author is Steve Hassan. Read that book. If you don't like to read, get it on Audible. It's really insightful. He actually was in a cult years ago and got an intervention and got out of it. So anyway, and I said around the holidays, around Thanksgiving, I said, if they start something with you, if they instigate something, I mean, avoid the topic of politics if you can. But if they instigate, like Trump always instigates, right? So if they instigate, just say, well, he is, he's a bully and he's kind of mean to people. Like when he mocked a disabled person, and he's mean, and he told people to beat somebody up, and I don't really agree with that, because I'm really for love and taking care of one another. And that's just where I stand. And just then see if you can drop it. And if you can't, if they keep, instigating like a fight, because a narcissist is looking for a fight. So somebody who's doing that to you is looking for a fight, and you don't take the bait, because we want to raise the energy, not go down to what did Michelle Obama say? When they go low, we go high. I loved when she said that, because that's just what we have to do. And send them love and light and, constantly. That was a long answer. Sorry, I kind of went
That's
on.
all right. Well, in the meantime, we want to thank Sunflowers for the donation. I think she just bought one of us a glass of champagne for tonight.
Oh, yippee!
Yeah.
I have my hot cocoa, but I'll do that later.
Okay, Annette, the next question is from Elaine Hope. And Elaine asks, well, she would just love to hear more about the U.S. economy in 2022.
Another great name.
Yeah.
The U.S. economy in 2022, people have to keep in mind, we are going to be in recovery mode from the pandemic for about 2.5 years. The economy is going to be challenging. Okay. And I really think there's a higher purpose to that. I really think that it's going to make us appreciate more, when the price of gas is low, we'll appreciate it more. And, we'll probably do a little less and realize that we don't really need as much as we think. I mean, in my immediate family, we stopped giving Christmas gifts like a long, long time ago. And started to realize after a couple of years, this is awesome. We don't need to be given gifts, right? So as far as the economy goes, we're going to have to do without some things or just cut back. And people panic when you say something like do without, or, there's going to be a less of something, but it doesn't mean we're going to die. It just means we're going to be slightly inconvenienced. Look at what happened in the Great Depression. I know we weren't there, but, we have great grandparents that were there. It's going to be a little bouncy, but we will bounce back. But it's going to take about 2.5 years. And I just really, it makes my skin crawl when I hear people bash Joe Biden because of the economy and saying he's going to lose. He's doing a terrible job, because I just really feel like, why don't we look at that? He didn't, start a pandemic. He didn't, that's why we're in this place that we're in. Should I pick some cards about that, or do you have a million more questions?
I don't think cards would hurt. We do have a lot of questions, but that's fine.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the Four of Swords. We're going to have to, this is about, remember when the pandemic started, Kory, and you and I had just started doing Ask Annette?
Oh, yeah. From the
and the Four of Swords, I was using a different deck, but I kept pulling the same card, and it was before the pandemic hit. And we're like, what is going on? Why do we keep getting the Four of Swords? This is a card of rest. This is a card of you're not going to really be able to do much because it's a time to stop. And then sure enough, we found out why. And then we couldn't do the show live anymore. I mean, in person. The Three of Cups, it will improve. Actually, the economy has gotten better substantially, but if the news would just report it, it would be, it would be good. I don't know why they don't, say more about that. We're actually on the upswing with the economy. The King of Cups, Joe Biden's being kind of humble and needs to, toot his horn a little bit more. But, well, I actually like what I see because I feel like people are going to be more appreciative, and I actually feel like they're going to be more generous too. So we're going to find out that we have plenty, even if they're saying on the news, oh, the economy is so bad, and you know how they get.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
Joanne, thank you so much for the
Thanks,
donation.
Joanne.
We're going to have a lot of champagne tonight, Annette and I.
That's where you're going to be.
Yeah. Great stuff. I want to point out too, we've had a lot of people, like I see your questions in chat. A lot of these were answered last night by Annette and Linda G. That show is on our page, but I'm also going to rebroadcast that show in high definition Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one of our viewers, Bruno, put all the chapters in for all the subjects. It was a 2-hour show. They covered a lot of ground, and you can cut right to that. But if you don't want to wait until Sunday evening, you can go to last night's show. A lot of those questions are answered.
Somebody just did that for us?
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I was like, thank God for this guy.
People are awesome. Thank you, everyone, for being awesome. And everyone pat yourself on the back for being awesome, because you're awesomer than you know.
This is really a beautiful thing going on here. I love this community.
And so it's great. Somebody volunteered to be a troll slayer tonight, because we're going to be doing a live stream meditation, and I don't want any trolls. But
yeah, we keep seeing all these notices for people recognizing Betty White's passing too. It's a big deal.
It's a big
deal. So so we raise a glass for her tonight as well.
Yeah, and last night too. Remember, we were just saying last night, at the end of the year, really big name people always pass. There's been a few of them, like the past week. So I feel like Betty is really happy seeing her friends. Because actually, she's 99. When you think about it, all her friends are on the other side. So I feel like they're having a New Year's Eve party on the other side.
Well, she was one of the most beloved entertainers in American history. And
a lot of people, actually everyone she knew passed before her because she was 99.
Yeah. All right. Okay, here's another cool question. This comes from Diva369. Will the baby bust get worse? And if so, will it have a negative effect on the economy and Social Security / healthcare for the baby boomers?
What the heck is a baby bust?
Well, I imagine we're not baby booming anymore. Are birth rates down?
What I really want to know is why people think that's a bad thing. And here's why. I'm not just being flip.
Right.
We're almost 8 billion people on the planet, and we haven't figured out how to get rid of plastics, you know what I mean? And so we're just producing more and more and more. So the baby bust, I haven't heard it called that. Have you?
I like it. I have heard the term before. Yeah.
Sounds like the babies are going to get arrested. I guess it kind of means that in a way, like, stop. I see it continuing to decline. I know that Elon Musk was like putting out all of, oh, this is terrible. We're going to have less humans. Well, we need to have less humans. Look at this planet. We've made a huge mess out of it. I don't think that people are having kids. I think, I've said before, I totally come clean about this. I never wanted kids because it scared me about, what's going on with the environment. And that was, a decision I made a long, long time ago. But it will continue because actually, and the other thing is, especially in America, if you have kids, you have no help. Like the Republicans are not wanting to pass the Build Back Better bill. I'm not saying it's not going to pass, but they're not wanting it to. They want to take childcare out of it, right? And they want to not fund community colleges. So there's all these really important things that a family needs that a family used to get. So if I were, of the age that I was thinking about whether to have a family right now, there is no way still, because you got to have a lot of money. So the baby bust will continue. I'm going to pick 3 cards about that. And it's not a bad thing. Well, I mean, if we continued birthing babies at the rates that we have been, it wouldn't be sustainable. 8 billion people is too many for the planet. I know that sounds really rude, but does that sound rude to you? It's just the facts.
You just lay the facts out, Annette.
Just the facts. Yeah, the 8 of Swords is like people feel trapped. They don't see, until we start cleaning up this planet. I mean, we were talking last night, and the fires were slamming through Colorado, people losing everything once again. And just 2 weeks ago, people lost everything. Maybe 3 weeks ago, that was like the second week in December. People in that tornado lost everything, and it was 250 miles wide.
Which is astonishing.
It just boggles the brain. And, and just speaking of climate, I was walking to this morning, and it was like spring. It's springtime in New England at the end of December. So this is why people aren't having babies. You can't blame them. There's nothing's being done about the problems. Oh, this is the same video because I see the Statue of Liberty now. The 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords, people are tired of things not being done. That's what that's about.
That poor guy.
And the 4 of Cups, this is actually the blessing. This is people not seeing the blessing in disguise. The blessing in disguise is we're not going to have a wicked, wicked, wicked crowded planet if people do abstain from having babies. Every time I do a reading for a young woman, and of course, they want to be married and have babies because that's the thing. I always say, can you please adopt a child? You can adopt an infant, adopt a child that's already here. I'm long-winded today, sorry.
No, it's fine. We want to give a big shout out to Astrid Hamilton. It's like a glass of champagne for each of us. So thanks for that, Astrid.
We're going to be rolling home.
Annette, do you see my poll question that I asked? What people are doing for tonight?
I can't see.
Okay, I'm trying to get a feel for what kind of viewership we have. I said, are you going to dance? You're going to have a lampshade on your head tonight, or lights up before midnight? And overwhelmingly, people are going to bed early. We might be their entertainment.
That's why I said all these people are happy to come to my meditation and reading spiritual stuff tonight. And I'm like, really? Not that it's not going to be great, but usually people are like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm busy.
Yes, I know. Crazy this year.
Yeah.
Okay. On to the next question. I know this one. Benny asked us this last night. He's in the chat with us today too. How are you, Benny? Will Texas survive another freeze? We get a lot of questions about weather and natural phenomena.
Do you know that there were around 700 and something, probably more people that froze to death? Thank you, Greg Abbott and Ted Cruz. Last February. Gosh, there's just horrifying event after horrifying event. Unfortunately, I have answered this question before, and I see another freeze. They did nothing about it. Ted Cruz is probably planning his little, hiatus to Mexico as we speak. I do see another freeze. I'm going to pull 3 cards about that. Actually, I'm going to do
Mexico.
Was it Mexico? I'm pretty sure he was going to Mexico. To Cancun. Right?
I'm going to Mexico next year at some point, I hope.
They're going to have another freeze. And what does it take, Kory? I mean, what does it take? Well, they're going to vote him out. So the question was, are they going to have another deep freeze and people dying? Yes, because nothing has been done. And they wanted to secede from the Union. They're still talking about succession from the Union.
Good luck.
And they already are they have an independent utility grid. How's that going for Mr. Abbott? Don't get me started about Texas.
I have to dodge a lot of arrows when Annette comes on.
But Beto, last year, Beto was not even in office, and he was out there, boots on the ground, helping people. I mean, and he was just floored that this was happening. Vote for Beto. Let's help Beto. And then this kind of stuff won't happen. Let's help the people that are helping the people. I love that slogan. Thank you, guys. That's a good slogan.
Yeah. And
that's a great slogan.
It is a great slogan. I want to keep thanking people in the chat joining us today. A lot of love over there. Oh, and Mary, thank you for that so much. Very sweet of all of you.
You making money over there?
Huh? Well, I gotta clarify one thing. One is I am not a psychic. I am just a meatball with a microphone here next to Annette's hometown.
You're a good meatball. You're a good Sicilian meatball, Kory.
Meatball. All right. Here's another cool question for you. All right, Annette, this is from Andrew.
We have to wait. Texas is going to have money coming in, so it's going to be good.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. As a result of all what they've been through, there's going to be federal money coming in.
I was just going to say federal.
Yeah, federal money. Joe Biden. Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you. What were you going to ask me?
Oh, so here's another. I know we got this a couple of times last night. I think from SS was stimulus checks. We're getting another round of those. Do you think?
You got one. I didn't get one. I was waiting after you told me.
I got one during one of our shows.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Every show should be like that.
No fearsies. I do see another stimulus check. I'm seeing like $600 or $800. Are they asking when or just whether we're going to get one?
Whether we're getting one. Yeah.
I feel like it's part of the Build Back Better bill. So the BBB. Oh yeah. Wow. This is pretty clear. It's going to be pretty soon. The Build Back Better bill is going to pass. And the guides just said the Republicans will have egg on their face. I don't know what that means. I don't, when we get stimulus checks, they try to take the credit, even though they shot it down. The Ace of Wands means yes, new beginnings. The Three of Pentacles, we're going to be able to rebuild our economy. It's going to be like, excuse the pun, but a shot in the arm for us. That might be literal too, where people have shots. And then the Devil card comes up, which means the Republicans are going to be fighting this, and they're going to look really bad about fighting. Like not that he's a Republican, but he is kind of Joe Manchin saying no to the Build Back Better bill. And then West Virginia is one of the poorest states. Don't feed the children. Fine, be that way. Yes, we will. Next. It's not even coffee, it's hot chocolate.
Yeah. All right, our next question comes from Andrew _ASMR, and he asked, what do you see for Broadway in the coming year? They just reopened in September, but will this be COVID be causing cancellations again? We've never got a question about Broadway specifically.
What's ASMR? Is that his last name?
Yeah, just part of his handle.
I wonder if it was an acronym. Broadway is, I see, on again, off again. I see they really have no choice but to shut it down for the time being. Which, this is a COVID question, so let's see. And they're really, when they can, if they can squeak by and have their shows, then they will. They'll do, by hook or by crook. There's going to be, this time that Broadway is shut down is going to be, it's going to be quick because they have the Chariot card. I think they'll be shut down, which I said is going to end relatively be at the end. And it's going to be short, just a short period of time that Broadway has to be shut down. The Knight of Pentacles, I'm seeing a new, I don't know if it's a new device or a new drug or something that's going to make it safe. I'm almost feeling like it's an advancement in air filtration. You know how like HEPA filters kill viruses and stuff. I have a unit in my office, even though nobody comes here, that kills viruses. I feel like they're going to come up with a way to make it safer rather than stay shut down. They're going to find a way. Yeah, the temperance. It's kind of on again, off again, but it's going to be more on. It's going to be more on. So I feel like are they completely locked down right now?
I don't think it's complete lockdown yet.
Is the New York, are they doing New Year's Eve?
You know what? I haven't checked. I can't imagine them not doing that tonight.
Yeah, it's probably a scaled down version. I'm gonna look. I thought that Broadway was shut down temporarily.
Let us know, folks.
Let me see. Okay, are they gonna be shut down for? Yeah, they're gonna be shut down for a little while. But I just see weeks. I don't see months. Yay! Can you hear my bell?
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes Zoom doesn't do music that well or sounds.
Are you done on that?
I'm done with I'm just watching the fireworks.
Are you really?
I love fireworks.
Yeah, this is our first time going live, folks. So I want to reiterate again, Annette and I did a really long 2-hour marathon with Linda G last night. You can find that on our channel. We're also going to replay the high-def version of that Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Bruno was kind enough to chapter all of the chapters, I guess. There were a lot of speaking points last night, so check that out if you can. I know we answered a lot of those questions last night.
Where does Bruno live?
I don't know. I saw his name this morning, but I've seen people mention his name in here, so he's got to be a friend of the community.
I've seen his name.
Okay. Let's talk about, Anna asks, Annette.
Oh. Getting down there. It's coming down.
Okay.
It's kind of even.
We're almost there. Besides masks, what is the best way to prevent Omicron from spreading? Any herbs or crystals, anything that you would recommend?
This channel is for entertainment purposes only.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. You can actually buy, and I have elderberry syrup making kits. I have read studies that, pre-COVID, I read studies that the elderberry actually it strengthens the cell walls so that viruses have a hard time getting in. Also, this is something that people really don't know about, but I'm just going to share it with you. I learned it from Sadhguru. When COVID started, he had all the people at the ashram in India chewing on neem leaf. It's spelled N like Nancy, E-E-M like Mary, neem. And it's a very cleansing and kind of revitalizing to the immune system. It's very, very bitter. I recommend getting it in capsule form. So there's that. If you have a strong health constitution, what I mean by that is you don't go around going, oh, I probably have this, or I probably have that, or I probably have, and you don't go ask your doctor about every little thing. I'm just saying this because you have to have a strong health constitution where you expect to stay healthy in order to stay healthy. This sounds basic and maybe people don't believe that, but I know that it works. A lot of research done on that too. So elderberry, neem leaf, I recommend in capsule form. I put it in honey, and I take it like that. Daily, zinc, definitely. Coldies, I should be getting a kickback. Coldies, you know what those are? They're lozenges.
Yeah.
EEZE, Coldies. Whenever I've gotten a cold in the past, and knock on wood, I haven't had a cold in a very long time. If I take Coldies, it goes right away before it really gets bad. Definitely exercise outdoors about an hour every day. Doesn't have to be big, I used to run, now I walk.
And you're in your office today, right?
I actually am fitter than I was running. So exercise, I'm always in my office.
Okay, it's just connection's really spotty.
Yeah.
Just for future reference, we'll have
Am I breaking up?
It's been spotty, but for the most part, we have you. The viewers would let us know.
All right. Well, and I hope you heard all that.
Yeah, I'll also throw in mom's chicken soup as well.
And mom's chicken soup too. If you eat chicken, if you don't, just vegetable soup.
I'd rather have
Definitely,
soup than
garlic
exercise.
and onions are very, very good for your. Do both. Yeah, sorry about the Wi-Fi. I'm working on it. I'm gonna I just ordered a little unit that's supposed to help.
Well, today's going to be a heavy day for Wi-Fi use anyway, so it's going to be.
That's probably.
All right, we're ready for our next question. This is from KD, who asks, "What's going on with the investigation with the Alec Baldwin shooting?"
With the investigation, there was a while there that I said we were, because I did readings about it, because I from the get-go knew it was well, I can't really use the word plan. Knew it was intended. It was directed. They didn't know if they were going to pull that off, but it was designed to mess Alec Baldwin up. Entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only. I mean, there's some things that are going on in this country that if you just follow the thread, why Alec Baldwin? Of how many actors that could have happened to? There is an investigation going on. I think he shouldn't be doing interviews. I know he was for a while, but he's got PTSD from that. I feel like Alec Baldwin is a sensitive guy. So he made fun of 45, and somebody, we know who didn't like it, obviously. And it was an indirect attack. And just to further my case, because I did read on this, somebody who's a dictator, just imagine with me for a moment. We'll just say Vladimir Putin, right? If somebody was like on a sitcom in Russia making fun of Vlad, what do you think would happen to them?
Oh, good night, nurse. That's
yeah. Don't eat anything in a public place, at a restaurant or anything, or to eat at home in a room where you prepared the food yourself, because you're a goner.
Yeah, Saturday Night Dead.
Yes. So that was indirectly connected to the former guy, and even though he didn't do it, he was an influence. I feel like nervous now, like I'm gonna get in trouble. But the investigation is ongoing, but I don't know if we'll hear that. I don't know if they'll be able to prove it, but that's my psychic fact.
All right, you ready to start going around the world?
Yes, I hope we still have a connection.
Yeah, I know. It's a little spotty on your end, but that's fine. We can figure that out. Okay, Chris, who was in the chat earlier, Chris Wickens asked, in all caps, will British Columbia have the big earthquake with devastating effects in 2022? All caps is yelling to me.
Oh, he's worried.
So we're back in British Columbia again.
That's on the west, right? From where we are, that's more on the west coast.
That's northwest Canada.
Yeah, that's what I knew that. I was just checking. Are they going to have a big earth? Like, were they expecting like the big one? Like, California, they've been saying for 30 years, California is going to have the big one.
Well, we know lots of fault lines, right? And we know Washington State, we get a lot of questions there. We've heard about this Doomsday Glacier, right? So that's in the vicinity as well, up north.
Are they going to have a big earthquake in 2022? I'm not seeing 2022. It looks like more like 2023. So everybody get your earthquake proof stuff going on. I don't know what that would be, but I'm not really in the know about how to earthquake proof yourself. Do you know? Wear a suit of armor.
What did I do when we lived in LA? It was they try to get you in the doorways. With the earthquake, they were so different. Some were long, low rumbles where things just kind of swayed for a long time. Others felt like a plane hit the building. It was just quick and explosive.
Really?
And then stopped. Yeah, it was a couple different ones, and I actually thought a plane hit the building. I was in a like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or something, looking at the um, like the
You're in Home
storm
Depot?
doors section. You know how they have like two storm doors stacked on each other, and you can like fold through them like accordion style. And then it was nearby an airport in Hawthorne, California, and we heard what we thought like one of the small planes hit the building, but it wasn't. It was an earthquake.
Well, you're in Home
Crazy.
Depot. You were safe, right?
Well, it was
Because
a
you,
big unless stuff started falling.
yeah, I know, but you could like don't they have like sheds and stuff like that they're selling. You could just run in. But I guess I think of earthquakes like the earth opens up and you fall in.
No.
What do I know?
Well, they
But
happen so often you get used to them.
I get 2023, and I'm just gonna ask: is it gonna be let's see, January, February, March? Looks like right now, March, April of 2023, they're gonna get something. Remains to be seen. All right, you can still hear me and everything?
I can still hear you. We're good.
I know last night was a little bit sketchy, but we'll just go with it.
Okay, I have a question for you here, Anna. This is from Star85201, who asks about aliens now at
Again,
Skinwalker Ranch in Utah.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, I swear, this better not be a brothel, folks.
They're attracted to the name, I think.
Skinwalker, yeah, if so, are they there to help mankind?
Is that
This is on Star's reservation out in Utah.
like skin crawler?
Skinwalker.
Interesting. Interesting name. I wonder where that name came from. The question is if they're gonna do what?
Are they there to help mankind? Are they there? And are they there to help mankind? Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. Shout out to all the we get a lot of viewers from reservations around the country, which is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, they're not there. They're just there. They're just watching. I think they find us entertaining. I do. I think that's what they're there for. I don't feel like they're actively helping with anything. They're just observing. They think we're interesting specimens.
Oh, we're just a regular laugh riot down here.
A regular sitcom. That's probably why they come here, because they just want to be entertained. They are not able to. They're actually scaring people. Are they seeing the UFOs? Is that what's going on?
No, but I'm hearing people comment now that it's. Go ahead, Annette.
Well, I get that people are getting frightened by it, but the government's holding out. That's a Four of Pentacles. The government's wanting people to not notice. But I don't get I feel like they're neutral. I'm not feeling benevolence, and I'm not feeling anything nefarious. I just feel like they're just there, but they've always been there. We're just noticing them now. That's all.
It's the first I've heard of it, but apparently this is a very popular spot.
Oh, really? Maybe it's like an amusement park for them.
Mm.
It's entertaining. I only have time for like one more question.
Do you really?
Well, we can't keep people forever. They have things to do. They have plans to stay home.
Well, let's try. How about this one, Annette? How about this one? And actually, we should end with a card or something for maybe New Year's Eve or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. But
this is a question. You might have to walk me through this one, and you might as well, viewers. So this is from Anna, and she says there are a lot of dark souls here. Is there a way to recognize this on site or meeting? So how do you recognize dark souls?
You feel their energy. If you get around somebody and you just feel awful, that's a dark energy. That question would take a really long time to answer, but let me see how I do. Is a question about how to protect yourself, because we did go over that.
Not necessarily, just is there a way to recognize them?
How you feel around them. And your guides, we all have guides. I mean, I hope people don't go around thinking, oh, only the psychics have guides. No, we all have guides, and our guides will give us little nudges and impressions. And, and you can ask your guides to keep you alert to anybody who's dangerous. But let me tell you something about the dark side that was told to me recently, because this is on point. We have a lot of darkness on the planet right now because we have a strong need for brighter light. And the light gets brighter. The concept that I relate this to is when you shine something, right? When you have a precious stone, for instance, and you have to tumble it, right? And then it becomes shiny. We're being tumbled by the dark side. The end result is going to be shiny and white light and like brighter light than ever. We're actually in this kind of a battle. It's kind of like Star Wars, you know. We're in this battle, but it's because the light needs to be brighter. So everybody has to work for the light in whatever way resonates with you. I mean, Linda G is doing it. I'm doing it. We're doing it in the way that resonates with us. Kory's doing it. You know, just you'll feel you'll feel people that are dark. It's kind of obvious. Don't you think, Kory? It's kind of like you just feel it.
Yeah, you kind of know. It's weird. It's kind of like when you meet certain people too, where just by looking in their eyes, you know there's no connection to you there. Like usually you can connect with someone at some level, and then they're just every now and then there's someone like, I am not on this person's wavelength. This person is not in my orbit. And not to mean like they're out to lunch. You just don't connect. I always find that odd.
That's a sign. That's not always that they're dark, right? But you don't really, you know, when you're being guided to. I always say that everybody that we meet is by divine appointment to teach us something. And sometimes if you encounter somebody dark, it's really so you can recognize it. You know, like that, like for instance, I've taught a lot of people about what narcissism is because a lot of people don't know. So that if they're informed, if they encounter a narcissist, or when I should say, there's a lot of narcissism out there, they kind of have a checklist. Is this person like getting me into a fight? Are they always looking for conflict? Are they always pointed to me and telling me what's wrong with me? You know, like learn to identify it and then turn around and walk away. I'm a big fan of just, if somebody's just being nasty, just turn away.
So well, let me throw this out to you and to the viewers too. Don't you notice that animals seem to pick up on dark souls faster than people?
That's a really good point. They absolutely know. So pay attention. You know, and on that note, before we go, I have a piano student actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Oh, yeah. Annette is also an avid jogger and a musician. She teaches piano. She plays guitar. She does it all.
I'm sure, you know, I have a lot going on, always, at all times.
And I'll throw this out there, too. So if people want to stick around for a bit, I can stay on late if people want to just learn a bit more about me and explain who I am and how I started popping up between psychics on YouTube all of a sudden. So I'll stick. Yeah.
That's a good idea. So before we go, and we'll do this again soon. Maybe we can do it next week. I'm gonna pull a card. So the dark side is alive and well. Don't be fooled. The dark side is alive and well. We have to just work for the light, and that just means be kind and love yourself. Oh, and I pulled the lover card. I swear to God, that was not staged. Nice. Love one another. Kindness matters. Okay, I gotta go.
Beautiful. Annette, Happy New Year. We'll see you on the other side in 2022. Yes,
the other side of the year, in the new year. And remember tonight, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'm on for meditation and spiritual reading, interesting things.
Yeah, and if you want to watch a supersized version of Ask Annette, we were with Linda G last night for 2 hours. That's on our channel, and we'll rebroadcast for those who missed it as well. And we'll kind of want to play the live game Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'll stick around for a little bit, I think. We're trying to figure out this live thing. Annette, you've got to go to an appointment. Take care. Yeah. Happy New Year.
The next room where the keyboard is.
Yeah.
All right, Happy New Year.
See you soon.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.